Hi everyone, welcome back to Smoke Signals. I'm Matt Montgomery along with head football coach and athletic director Wayne Coleman. Fighting Indians on the road last week at Whitehouse, coach, just a tough loss. I mean, if you'd have told me that this game would have been this low scoring, I know both teams came in with solid defenses, but this was a really good football game, a very clean game. You just didn't have the football long enough to get some points on the board. They just took control of the football in the second half, and it was just tough getting your offense on the field.
Yeah, they did a good job of controlling the football in the second half, limited our opportunities. First time this year we've lost the turnover battle, so that made a difference in the outcome.
You know, this is a Whitehouse team that scored 58 points on Henderson. They scored, 43 on Mount Pleasant. You held them to 23. I mean, sort of a win, if you will, but you know they had the lowest total yards output that they've had all year. Your defense played great, and it isn't that your offense didn't play well, but again, as I said, you didn't get the football in the third quarter till 4 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that. And so when you don't have the ball very much, I mean, you only had 2 possessions in the third quarter, and then early in the fourth quarter, you'd only had 2 possessions so far.
Yeah, and we've got to make the most of it. That's going to happen some nights. You're going to play quick strike teams that score really fast or go 3 and out, and then you're going to play other teams that control the ball, and they did a good job of controlling the ball.
I mean, you didn't have any killer penalties. Yeah, I mean, you did have the 2 turnovers that down there in their end of the field that hurt because you had some good drives rolling.
Yeah, and that's going to happen when you're taking shots sometimes in your RPO game. Balls are going to get tipped, things happen, but you got to keep taking those chances because it's hard to sustain a 10 or 12 play drive at any level, much less the high school level.
Yeah, when you scored in the third quarter, they took like 8 minutes off the clock, and then you took 2 minutes to score your touchdown, and then they got the ball right back and they held it for a while again.
Yeah, and that's that's kind of the game we were in. It almost felt like they were just trying to keep the ball away from us, but they did convert some huge third downs. Even though we played pretty good third down defense most of the night, they had a couple of third and longs that they were able to convert.
Coach, it was clear that schematically they were not going to allow Deshaun McEwen to get to the edge.
Yeah, they did a good job, which, I mean, that's not that hard to figure out. The bigger issue for us is figuring out more creative ways when people are going to load the box on him. How are we going to make our offense tick?
And offensively, just each week, it seems like you're running the ball better and better. And the passing game has been something that's been clicking most of the year. But boy, the running game, ever since that first game against Carthage, it just keeps getting better every week.
And that was one of the bright spots Friday night was even though they took Deshaun away, we were able to establish a run game with our running backs.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Jacksonville versus Whitehouse last Friday night at Wildcat Stadium. Of course, Pee Wee Fuller right here on the sack, Coach. Just another big game by your big senior.
Pee Wee's having a great senior season. A lot of production points every game for us.
Speaking of the running game, here's Aaron Richardson with 12 of his 77 yards rushing.
Aaron's finally gotten healthy and had a great night.
Now here's your touchdown in the first half that closed at 8-7, TJ.
Yeah, that was one of those where we scored too fast and left 2 minutes on the clock before halftime.
Watch Keelan Miles, the right defensive end right here, jump. Whoop, over, and then the sack. What a play by Keelan.
By far Keelan's best game of the year.
Here's Shoemake making something happen right here. Scrambles, finds Jalen Freeney down the field for 34.
Tristan had his best game as far as getting outside the pocket on scrambles and making things happen.
This is the 8-yard touchdown run here by Tristan. Yeah.
Tristan, good job on the zone read.
Now here's the run by TJ Ratliff. Just got tripped up here, shoestring tackle.
Yeah, it could have been a long touchdown.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, he was going to shoot the gap. And here's the interception, Coach, at the end here in the fourth that really cost you.
This one hurt. We had a chance, I think, to maybe go down and take the lead. That was a tough one.
So all in all, Coach, I know that you're never pleased with a loss, but we're just this close. I know you told your team that again. We said that last week, and it feels this way every week, and I know at some point you're just going to break through, and hopefully it'll be this week against Pine Tree.
Well, that's all you can do. You got to keep grinding, and I mean, the great thing about athletics is that you're dealt adversity every week in some form. Sometimes you win and overcome the adversity. Sometimes you lose. And coming back to work on Monday and grinding and battling and fixing mistakes is what's going to get these kids ready for life after high school. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to take any time to hang our heads. We're just going to get back to work and fix our mistakes and line up on Friday night.
Well, it's an 8-team district, and you've played 2 games. There's still 5 to go. So I mean, you're still definitely you're in it now. Mm-hmm. And you got Pine Tree coming in, and the Pirates are coming to Rose Stadium Friday night, and this is a high-scoring offense with Pine Tree. Boy, they've put a lot of points on the board. I know your defense probably playing as good as any defense in District 9-5A, Division II, and I know that that they're going to bring the hat Friday night, wanting to score on your defense because that's what they do. They
love to play fast, up-tempo, and they got playmakers. Their quarterback can score from anywhere. Their running back can score. They've got Division I receiver and a Division I H-back. So that'll be a test for our defense.
Now their quarterback he's not very big, but he's kind of a Johnny Manziel, goes all over the field kind of guy, a lot of speed guy. How are you preparing for him?
We've got to really work hard with our outside backers this week on containing the quarterback. Don't let him get out in the open field, and we've got to be good tacklers because he's the kind, even though you've got him contained, he'll make you look silly.
As you get in now into that area of the district race where you got to have this. I know the kids they just been playing so well. How are you and your coaching staff dealing with just making sure they continue that grind and they continue fighting and keep working hard? You mentioned it's a life lesson a moment ago, but specifically in practice and things, how are you guys dealing with them as far as getting them prepared to keep it going?
Yeah, you just got to stay the course because the system that you're in has been successful. It's been successful the last couple of years. It's gotten us to the playoffs. We've got to do a better job of executing it, and we've got players. We've got kids that can make plays. So we've lost a couple of close games. In years past, we've won those close games. Mm-hmm. So we've got to find a way now in the close games to get ourselves over the top.
Offensively, how can you attack Pine Tree's defense? Because they've given up they just don't score a lot of points. I mean, they gave up 50 to Mount Pleasant last week. I mean, how are you going to attack them with your offense?
Well, the best plan is to keep establishing your run game because when you're doing that, their high-power offense is on the sideline. So that's what you really want to do. Our run game has gotten better every week, and we want to keep doing that. We've got to keep finding ways to make sure that Richardson and TJ and Deshaun, mm-hmm. Get chances to make plays.
And offensively, you're very familiar with the offense at Pine Tree because of the coach there.
Sure. Kerry Lane and I work together at Gilmer. We both have brought some of the Gilmer offense with us. When I watch their offense now, it reminds me a lot of our offense we ran a couple years ago with Cam High because they've got a very athletic quarterback. They're using a lot of the same schemes. It feels like we're practicing against the 2016 Indians.
Coach, you've played well at Rose Stadium. You had a couple of games there. You get to go back Friday night. It's got that big game feel. This is a huge game for your team. I mean, you're down 0-2 in district. This is not like you've got to have this win kind of thing, but it's an important ball game to get back on track.
Well, every district game is a big game. You want to get a W right now and relieve some of the pressure mm-hmm. that everyone feels. And you try not to think about the pressure, but it's there in the back of everyone's head. So, yeah, a win would be great. But right now, we just need to focus on the process and execution, and that'll get us over the top.
It's a wild district race. I mean, Lindale beat NAC last week mm-hmm. at Nacogdoches. I mean, you just can't take anything for granted. There's no lead dog right now, if you will. I know that people have picked Marshall and Whitehouse, but I got to believe somewhere down there, somebody's going to play those guys and beat them the way this thing's shaping up.
Yeah, I mean, the district is too balanced. I mean, there's a lot of parity. Anybody can beat anybody on any Friday night.
Coach, let's talk about keys to the game. What's it going to take to get the win Friday night against Pine Tree?
We got to keep our running game going so we can keep their offense on the sideline and take care of the football. If we can win the turnover battle and keep our run game established, we'll win the game.
It's Jacksonville versus Pine Tree at Rose Stadium. Friday night will be on the air at 6:45 on 94.3 Real Country. I'm Matt Montgomery for head coach Wayne Coleman. We'll see you next time right here on Smoke Signals.